120.
Yeah, it is.
So what time is it?
120.
120. Do you want to take this?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm Mal. What do you know about the Nimrod?
Hey, nothing. He's expert.
I was hoping if you could say all you say is nothing, because then I can tell you a pack of lies, you won't be any wiser. Basically, it's a maritime reconnaissance aircraft. Its primary role was submarine hunting. Did other roles, search and rescue, and some other bits we'll show you when we get on board. But its main job was submarines. Did it in three ways. It had the mad boom sticking out the back with a tail. That's the magnetic anomaly detector. Constantly monitors the Earth's magnetic field. Anything that disrupts that, as in a big chunk of metal underwater, will show up on the system. You look between the window and the pitot probe, there's a little chrome disc. That can smell a submarine at 4 miles. Now I don't think I'm telling lies now, do you? What I can do is actually smell diesel fumes.
Right.
If you pick diesel fumes up and there's no surface ships, you can be pretty sure there's a diesel submarine just below the water. But the main way is sonar. Two different types. You've got the one that you see in the World War II films, sends a signal bounce off your target, you get the beep, pop. Or the other one we use predominantly is what we call hydrophonics. All that is a posh word for underwater microphone. And it listens. But to give you an idea how good they are, how sensitive, Class 2 Russian nuclear submarine makes very little noise because nuclear fusion doesn't make a noise. However, we do know, for instance, that the fridge in the galley runs at 47.2 megahertz. And we can pick the submarine up purely by the noise the fridge is making and tell you exactly what submarine it is as well.
Wow.
So go on a bit. Aircraft, as you can see the airliner and then the Nimrod bit. It was actually Comet 4 it's derived from. It was, they're not all ex-Comets converted. The first two there's two Comets on the production line that wasn't going into service because they'd run out of orders. Things like the VC-10 had come out and taken over. So the Air Force took them, they converted them to Nimrod, did the trials, were very successful, and then they built 49 more, and they were built from scratch, so they're not all converted.
Yeah.
Although built on the Comet, they're not converted Comets. The wingtip pods, a later invention, the call on the yellow gate radar. They're a passive system, so no one can see us by using it. Or however it picks up any radio waves, radars or whatever. And we can use that signal as a target to target our munitions onto them. What a lot of people don't realise is the Nimrod was fully armed. It carried torpedoes, air to surface, air to ground. Even carry sidewinder and air-to-air missiles as well. So it's fully capable. Technically it's the largest fighter in the world.
Yeah.
It's very capable of looking after itself and getting out of the target ground. When we go on board, the stairs are like me, the rickety and all, but they work. The first pack in the aircraft's very noisy and very warm, but it cools down as we go through. So if you're coming up, please be careful on the steps.
Okay.
Where we store all our gear. Very similar to the aircraft in service. When we went on runaway, we take the gun equipment with us. Even the ladders on the side so we can get on and off the aircraft ourselves. Okay. These 6 seats, you get 2 men on the floor there. Still taking the ground crew with us. So we've got a full team to look after while we're there. Seats face backwards. Every military aircraft the passenger seat face backwards. If they did the same on civilian airliners, the Well, they're normally at 45,000 feet, I don't know. There you go. Anyway, these are the launchers to launch the sonar. Sonar gets dropped in the sea and the tracking systems track the information. When they're dropping them, they're 300 foot off the water. So they're a bit turbulent to say the least. And when they get a target, they start throwing the clover leaf pattern, dropping the sonar so that they get a radius around it. So they've got to load them whilst it's flying, whilst it's loaded out, whilst it's banking. And you just want to grab all of that and have a feel of the weight of it.
You'll notice it.
So you've got one chap taking them off the rack here. He's turning it around, he's setting all the frequencies and depths, etc. Then he puts it on the floor there, the label on, saying what port to put it in. Next guy picks it up, takes the label off, pulls the safety tab off, gives it the next guy loads it in there.
Right.
When you're pulling 2.5G, everything weighs 2.5 times as much. So you can imagine what it's like trying to load them, especially when you're going like that on the bottom of the sea. Not a very nice job at all.
So do they just sink, once they're in the water, they just sink down?
They'll sink down, they'll sink to a depth of whatever you set it at.
Oh, right.
And after a certain length of time, a little door will open, fill up with salt, seawater, and sink to the bottom of the sea. They can't recover them.
Right.
For hunting submarines, it's nothing unusual to use 30 odd on a sortie, and the cost between £8,000 and £16,000 each.
Okay. That's where all your taxis are going.
Well, not anymore. When you taller gentlemen, please watch this piece of metal here. It's got more of my scalpel than anything else. This is what some people say the most important part of the ship.
The galley?
The galley. We've got oven, nice little trays to put your food on. Fridge, sink, hot and cold water, hot plate. Only problem is that the Air Force will not pay for ready meals. You used to give them that. A tin of stewing steak, tin of carrots, tin of peas, tin of new potatoes and a tin of pears. You've only got one pan. So everything went in, including the pears. A lot went in. Cook it up, and you just call it hunker stew. Actually, it's a lot better than you think. But it's typical. Save someone who not do that. We'll make it all work, but not give you the stuff to use it. Probably the most expensive tin opener in the world as well.
Yes.
I bet that was at £1.99 from Pound Stretcher. Again, please watch your right on this aluminium strip. I know this is wow, that's a lot better.
Oh, a bit of fresh air.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
So this is the start of the actual business end of things.
Right.
Chap here is now the electronic surveillance station officer. He manages the wingtip pods, the Yellowgate radar, and the mad boom at the back.
Okay.
All the information he picks up off his screens, he sends to the chap at the front. We'll get to him in a minute, but that's where it all goes. You'll see these bags all the way through the aircraft. They're immersion suits. If you're in the North Sea or down by the Falklands and you've got to get out of your aircraft into the sea, your life expectancy in a normal flying suit is no more than 70 seconds.
Oh, wow.
It's usually a lot less. It's usually as you hit the water, the heart stops or you pass out. With the immersion suit on, you can last a good 5-6 minutes, which is more than enough time to get to your dinghy, climb on board. These you throw out the door, and as they go out, they unravel and automatically inflate. On them you've got spare clothing, you've got food, you've got flares and everything you need to survive. But it must take some bottling when you're about to crash. Oh,
yes.
Put my suit on, what do you Can we sort of squeeze in the best we can? This is the radar station. Actually a very, very good piece of kit. It had a range of 200 miles and it could track 100 targets at once. As you can see, we've got the top end of Scotland here. As soon as it picks the target up, it'll come up as U, as in unidentified.
It's alright, don't worry.
Then it'll go to F or H, friendly or hostile. And it can even tell you whether it's a ship, a submarine or an aircraft. And it'll tell you which is your biggest threat.
So how does it tell if it's friendly? Does it have like a friend?
We're now trying to get me civilian aircraft on what we call IFF, Identify Friend or Foe. And it's a set frequency that's changed quite regularly, and it's kept secret. Basically, the squadrons receive it on a secure line, and the engineers go out and reprogram them all, so they're all talking to each other.
Right.
Okay.
So we know it's one of ours when we pick it up. Behind you here, this system here, unfortunately we haven't got all the gear yet, but we're getting there. This is the camera that's mounted on the wing.
Okay.
It's narrow angled, wide angle and infrared, plus a dual stream video. It's got the ability to take a photograph of a baked bean tin at 4 miles and you can read the side. Just to show you I'm not selling porcupines. Deck of a ship obviously. I was taken at 1.4 miles.
Oh,
Wow.
Down there, I'd have to say where it is. It's pitch black, it's night time, it's at sea, so there's no street lights. I was taken at 4.3 miles.
Wow.
And this one here, can you see the outline of the ship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See the rocket getting fired off the deck and the operator? That's taken at 6.3 miles.
Wow.
So, reasonably good bit of kit.
Yes. Yeah.
Them 3 seats are known as the dry seats. Constantly because they look at everything above the water. These next 3 are what we call the wet seats. Because these read the sonar signals. But believe it or not, that's what you see on the gauge, on the screens.
Right. Okay.
All that.
Quite confusing.
But by the colours and the lines and etc., the trained operators can tell you exactly what it is. Whether it's the shape of the submarine, how big it is, how many
Wow.
engines it's got, etc. etc. The problem is a sonar can only tell you where the target is in correspondence to itself, not the aircraft.
Okay.
So we launch at least 8, and then we vector the coordinations
right.
by it, and pinpoint its exact position, its depth, its speed, its direction. Once we've got all that information together, all nicely stored up, then it comes to these guys. This is Douglas, by the way. We call him Douglas, he's got no legs. RAF Waddington, all the streets of the quarters are named after famous pilots. Douglas Bader is
right.
Bader Walk, which I think is just fantastic. He's the mission commander, he's in charge of the mission, not the aircraft, that's the pilot. He's in charge of the mission. All the info comes to him. He makes the big decisions. Here and here are 2 navigators. I've got routine navigator here, who does the normal planning of the flight, and this is a tactical navigator. He launches the sonars, everything comes onto his screen. He selects his weapon. Every one of those little windows is an armament point in the bombing, plus we've got wing pylons as well. He selects it all up, turns the master arm switch on, and then he tells the pilot, ready to fire on your mark. It's the pilot that presses the button. Because if it hits the wrong target,
Yes.
it's its fault.
Yeah.
Regardless of what these guys have done. But for all those of us who are old enough to remember the Falklands War and the General Belgrano getting sunk,
Yes.
we wasn't out on war, so we had to speak to the government.
Right.
And it was Margaret Thatcher of the day.
Yes.
The actual submarine spoke direct to Margaret Thatcher, and she gave the permission to fire. We'd have to do exactly the same. That's where this chap comes in. Here we've got UHF, VHF, SATCOM. We've got scramble printer, scramble keyboard, ticker tape machine. The only thing that stops the radios on these is the curvature of the Earth. They're that powerful.
Yeah.
Problem is though, if you have a nuclear explosion, it wipes out all radio waves for those 15-20 minutes. When all else fails, back to basics.
Oh, right.
So we've always got contact.
Yeah.
Bit further forward. These 2 seats, left and right, are what we call the beam windows. They're basically used for the search and rescue side of things and for general observation.
Yeah.
You'll notice on the windowsill there's a bracket where we can mount a camera.
Yeah.
It takes pictures of any non-NATO aircraft. We call it gathering intelligence. If they photograph us, we call that spying. That's completely different. If you notice, the windows are domed. Because when you're flying to Greece in your 747, which I am doing tomorrow,
Yeah.
you can look left, you can look right, you can look up, you can't look down. with a dome window you can look down.
Ah, okay.
And on the wingtip on that side we've got a glass dome, and in there was a light. It's 51 million candle power.
Right.
It was so powerful that if you turn it on the ground, bar burning the retinas out of your eyes, it melts the dome immediately. So we've wired it to the undercarriage, and you've got to be flying at least 110 mile an hour before you can turn it on. And that airflow will keep it cool enough to turn it on.
Ah,
This is a toilet. Not much said about the toilet, really is a toilet. Again, going back to basics, if you lose navigation, we can flick a little switch up here, connect a sextant to this, and navigate back by the stars.
Oh, right.
And then my office. You're quite welcome to sit in the seat. Be very, very careful. Don't touch the controls because it is a live aircraft, and all the locks are in. And watch your head.
You want to get in there because I won't be able to get in.
you can sit in there.
There's a joystick on the side of there. What's that come from?
That's the radar.
For the radar.
Okay, we've got a three-man cockpit. You've got the pilot here, co-pilot here, and the most important man on the entire aircraft, the engineering officer here. Did I mention I was engineering?
No,
Sorry?
Like engineers, best bit going.
look this way. Thank you.
Sorry.
On the control column you'll see the C and N, the buttons C and N.
Yep.
C is to launch a conventional weapon, N is to launch a nuclear weapon.
Okay.
You can fly the aircraft on either seat.
Jacob.
Only thing you can't do is nose wheel steering. You only have that on one side, so when you're taxiing it's got to be that guy.
Yeah, this one here.
The reason the pilot always sits on the left hand side, it's believed to go back to the Royal Flying Corps. When the first aircraft come into service, it was the army of course, and the generals of the day decided the only people who could fly these modern fandangled things would be cavalry officers. Cavalry officers always mount the horse from the left hand side because of the sword.
Okay, yeah.
And they did exactly the same on the aircraft, and that tradition has stayed ever since.
It's quite a spacious cockpit,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. Engineering panel, you've got your 4 hydraulic systems, AC power and DC power, engine monitoring gauges, fuel system. Looks complicated, but it's not all that bad. Basically, each one of them is a fuel tank, and there's your 4 engines, and you can follow the lines where the fuel goes.
Okay.
The reason you've got the manual override is that if you just fire 2 torpedoes at the back end of the aircraft, you'll be a little bit nose heavy. And until you trim up, you can actually use the fuel to trim the aircraft, centre of gravity back up again. And oh, by the way, the dice are an optional extra. But you get that in the GT model.
What's the sort of duration?
Normal
of
sortie was 8 hours.
8 hours.
However, with air-to-air refuelling capability, I believe the longest flight ever was 32 hours.
Okay.
We had 2 crews on, one
Yes.
sleeping, one flying.
What would be the limitation then? Human or oil? And
The main limitation, as long as you're getting air-to-air refuelling,
Yeah.
the only real limitation is obviously something breaking, but
Yeah.
really engine oil. The engines are a partial loss oil system. Basically, one of the seals they call a labyrinth seal.
Yeah.
We use the air to stop the screwing one way and oil screwing the other way.
Oh,
So
right.
it's a frictionless bearing.
Yeah.
Really, really efficient. However, some of where the air goes back and the fuel goes back, it's aerated, so it goes through a de-aerator. But you lose a little bit of oil in the mist, and that's dumped overboard. And you can lose something. You lose something in the region of maybe 2.2 of a litre an hour. However, they have about 37 litres in there, so you've still got quite a bit of going to go.
Okay.
Oh, I think we better go. Please be careful when you get out. These are commonly known in the trade, these things, they call them the bastard boxes. Because when you grow up,
So I noticed.
out that way, please.
So I noticed the conventional nuclear weapons launch buttons are on different sides. Does
Yes.
that cause confusion when
I-
someone goes to the other seat?
I would have thought so. You'd have thought they'd been on the same side, wouldn't you?
It's very well to get used to the throttle being on the other side. I thought the launch
Yes, nuclear depth charges.
Well, you really want to do the
Yeah.
And they're the very, very last resort because if you drop them, it'll kill everything in a 5 mile radius. Everything plus motor station to a larger scale. And then chicken.
All right, thank you.
That's what that was.
These are called beam windows.
Don't believe a word of it. That's what I'm saying. Don't believe a word of it.
There you go.
Oh, there's them windows.
I was out in America doing an exercise. And they had three Americans on board. And they were flying along over the sea. And one of them looks out the window and there was a lovely big yacht there with three ladies sunbathing naked. So they said, oh, look at that. And this American said, can't see anything, can't see anything. Flying around again, so flew around again, still can't see anything. So all I can see is a submarine's con tower. They're so busy looking at the yacht and the naked ladies on there, missed the submarine completely.
Is that camera then?
Yes, that's the camera, yeah. You get a good selfie on it actually because it reflects.
What's these right angle bits?
I'll tell you what, when they first built the aircraft and it takes off, they found that the inner part of the wing is a lot more efficient than the outer part of the wing. And when they're coming into land, it started flapping.
Okay, yeah.
So what they do is they come out of the factory, they glue that on there, take it off, the pilot will come and say, oh, it's such and such a speed. So they'll move it a little bit and we'll go off again until they get exactly on the part that says perfect, and then rivet it, drill it and rivet it. And it's purely to disrupt the airflow over the wing because it's too efficient.
Good that one.
Yeah.
Oh yes. The modern aircraft, the modern jet engine, the actual turbine blades running the temperature hotter than melted from the back.
Yeah, the fluid dynamics, just a cooler.
They're just taking it around the back of the wing. Biggest limit capacity comet.
Four.